Hey there everyone, I'm meteorologist Cassie Nall and this is your 10 weather impact recap for the week. Let's start with a look at some of the top weather stories from around the country. At least 4 people are dead and dozens more injured after a massive pileup on Interstate 25 south of Pueblo, Colorado on Tuesday. It involved more than 30 vehicles. As winds gusted to 60 miles per hour, they caused brownout conditions, and authorities said, quote, visibility was next to nothing. Strong winds wreaked havoc elsewhere in the plains as well, with multiple fires across the region. In northwestern Oklahoma, a wildfire in Woodward forced at least 3,000 people to evacuate. Another fire broke out nearby in Beaver County, Oklahoma, rapidly crossing north into Kansas in just hours. Authorities say the Ranger Road fire burned about 15,000 acres by Tuesday afternoon, but it then exploded to an estimated 145,000 acres by the evening. In Kansas, it forced evacuations of more than 11,000 people in several towns. Meanwhile, as those fires burned in the plains, an icy rescue effort was underway for missing skiers in California after an avalanche near Lake Tahoe. As of this recording, crews were still searching for the missing skiers as snow continues to pile up in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Meanwhile, in the lower elevations of California, heavy rain is causing flooding and debris flows in burn scars. Homes still being rebuilt after Eaton and Palisades fires in January of 2025 are having to pull out tarps to protect the ongoing construction. And exposed burn scars are now turning into runways for mud and debris to come flowing down the hillsides. Sandbags can be seen in vulnerable areas, and residents are on standby to evacuate if the situation worsens. In Hawaii, Kilauea volcano came to life on Sunday with huge lava fountains from both the north and the south vents. Molten rock spewed to heights of more than 1,000 feet. This was episode 42 of an eruption that began in December of 2024. Just absolutely mesmerizing to watch each of these episodes. And from fire to ice, tourists battled below freezing temperatures to view the partially frozen Niagara Falls. Chase Kane details the fall's history with cold temperatures and talks to visitors about their experience at the famous attraction.
A natural wonder of the world turning into a real-life wonderland. With tourists flocking to the U.S.-Canadian border battling frigid temperatures to catch a glimpse of a partially frozen Niagara Falls.
We never thought about coming here in the winter. It seemed like a crazy idea, but it's beautiful.
The frozen Cascades stunning visitors at this unlikely cold weather destination.
It's chilly, but it's beautiful. It's definitely a gem.
And while these formations might make it look like the falls are completely iced over, the strong currents of more than 20 million gallons every minute, too powerful to freeze completely, still flow underneath the frozen layer of mist and spray. But the so-called ice bridge can reach up to 10 stories tall, according to Niagara Parks. The river only completely halting once in 1848, blocked by an ice jam. But the spectacle enduring for over a century, like this severe winter in 1904, again in 1934.
Niagara Falls was brought almost to a standstill.
And more recently during the polar vortexes of 2014 and 2015.
They're even more beautiful frozen than in the summertime.
Today, the frozen falls can only be safely observed at a distance.
The way everything's kind of frozen over, it all looks really nice.
And those that make the trek fall for its beauty. Chase Kane, NBC News.
A rare winter phenomenon is now open to the public in Bayfield, Wisconsin. Check out the Myers Beach Ice Caves. The caves are located on the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore along Lake Superior. This is the first time since 2015 the conditions have been right and created the ice needed so that people can roam the caves. As you can imagine, this could get dangerous really quickly, and workers only allow visitors to access those caves when the weather allows and as long as ice conditions remain stable. This next story should warm your heart on a cold winter day. Each year, a grandpa in Minnesota builds a backyard luge for his grandkids. And with a little extra help from Mother Nature, this year's track is the best one yet. Kent Erdahl shares the story from Minneapolis.
Minnesota winters are not for the faint of heart.
Love winter, especially the snow.
But for Steve Blees, even cold weather chores
It's going to blow right at you.
are a blast. His snowblower isn't typical, and the path he's clearing doesn't always keep him vertical.
You might as well stay down now.
But it's all by design.
It's just pure ice, and it's fast as hell.
It's called the Papa Bear Plunge, nearly 300 feet of pure winter imagination. first conceived in a very different season.
The idea came from in the summer, cutting the grass, and I'm going, this is a perfect hill for a slide.
And once the perfect conditions arrive, he gets to work.
I start by taking an ATV with a snowplow.
He admits building, maintaining, and even testing this luge
Form the edges.
can get a little labor intensive.
That's more than a little. I think I probably got over 100 hours in it this year.
But stick around after hours and Papa Bear's little cubs will show and tell you.
He works very hard.
Every second is appreciated.
I'm just very grateful to have a grandpa who does this, and I really love it. It's really fun.
Hi, Cammie.
Steve grants unlimited access and high fives to his 8 grandkids.
This is the best part. There's nothing better.
We ready? He's just like, I'm making a slide really cool, and then we get here and we're like, this is incredible.
His 3 daughters, turned mama bears, were so impressed by the first slide 3 years ago that they shared it with the world.
I thought this was something that could provoke joy and warm people's hearts.
Nicole Warner's hunch was correct.
I just uploaded it and it went crazy.
Her 2022 TikToks were featured on news channels nationwide. And now, after a 2-year pause forced by Mother Nature,
He doesn't do anything small, he does it big.
He goes all in.
Yep.
Yeah.
this year's plunge is even longer, and it's blowing up faster than a Papa Bear campfire.
My fire?
Altogether, it's over 2 million views.
Sure, it's nice. I can't deny that, but that's not why I'm doing it, you know. Hi, pal. That's why I'm doing it right there. See the smile on their face.
To be clear, it's not just the grandkids who are smiling.
I think it makes you feel like a kid again.
There you go. The adults have fun too.
Papa Bear himself is a testament to that.
Any grandparent will tell you all they want to do is have fun and take care of the grandkids.
Minnesota winters may not be for the faint of heart, but with the right perspective and conditions, they just might fill it.
I'm a lucky guy. You know, the good Lord gave me all the right elements to do it. And it's not something you can do every year, right? So you do it when you can.
Love that story. While the Midwest and the Northeast have had a banner year for cold and snow, many western states are experiencing long-term drought conditions. And with the lowest snowpack on record so far this season, water supply concerns are growing. The 7 states that depend on the Colorado River for their water supply missed a second deadline on Saturday as they continue to negotiate how the water from that river will be used. Much of the water in the Colorado River begins as snowmelt from the mountains in the Upper Basin, made of Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado and New Mexico. The Upper Basin amasses far more than it consumes. Meanwhile, the Lower Basin states of Arizona, Nevada, and California include agriculture-heavy regions and are bigger consumers. Together, over 40 million people in those 7 states rely on water from the Colorado River for farming and to supply water and electricity to homes and businesses. Unfortunately, chronic overuse, drought, and rising temperatures linked to a changing climate have lessened water flows. And if the 7 states can't come to an agreement for how the water will be allocated, the federal government may have to step in. Now to some national park news. In Virginia, a new agreement between the state and private landowners will help to protect more than 5,000 acres surrounding Shenandoah National Park. Katie Nectarline shares this story.
Just really exciting.
To many of the millions of people who visit Shenandoah National Park each year, this is a view worth protecting.
When you're at any Shenandoah National Park overlook, a large portion of the land that you're looking at is actually privately owned.
Now, thanks to a new conservation easement between the state and private landowners, more than 5,000 acres of forest land will be protected. Justin Altis with the Virginia Department of Forestry says it took years of hard work and more than $8 million in grant money from the federal government.
Funding is very competitive, so every state is vying for a certain pot of money. It's rewarding to be recognized as worthy of getting that federal investment.
Kim Biasioli is with the Piedmont Environmental Council.
When you think about there's the public benefits of protecting these lands, it's also about, the natural habitat, climate resiliency, flood resiliency for our communities down here in Albemarle.
2 of the easements are already completed while the next 3 are in progress.
It'll stay kind of what we see now. It's not trapped in time, but mainly No housing developments, no big commercial stuff. It's going to stay forested forever.
Forever, to protect Shenandoah National Park and those who call this piece of Virginia home.
The projects don't come together unless you have a willing landowner that cares about their land. The project will be a benefit to the Commonwealth for generations to come.
In California, the National Park Service says that a super bloom may be possible in Death Valley this year. That's right. The hottest and driest national park in the United States could soon be filled with vibrant wildflowers on a scale only seen about once a decade. These pictures, for example, are from the last super bloom in 2016, with blooms also reported in 2005 and 1998. Now, the conditions have to be just right. According to the NPS, the perfect amount of rain in evenly spaced intervals can help get those seeds to sprout. And it can't be too windy either, because the dry air would dehydrate the plants and bring a quick end to the big bloom. Sprouts have already been spotted in many areas of the park, including on washes and hillsides, and we will keep you updated if this ends up happening. In Florida, the worst drought in more than 25 years is affecting wildlife and tourism in South Florida, including Everglades National Park. Janine Stanwood rode along with one man whose business depends on the weather.
We're on an airboat with Marshall Jones, a fifth-generation Gladesman who runs Max Fish Camp.
Because this drought is going to be one of the worst ones in a generation. Yeah, he moved back there.
We see gators trudging through mud. It's mucky and bone dry. Oh, all right.
Nice and cold, right?
Yep.
The further we go this direction, the drier it gets. This particular drought is coming on earlier and with a harder, more rapid onset than I've ever seen.
Rainfall is 50% down since November, prompting officials to urge people to conserve water to stop depleting the Biscayne Aquifer, South Florida's main water source.
The less you waste water, the more viable our aquifer will be. This entire area that we're going through today, the Everglades in general, is the aquifer recharge zone for all of South Florida.
The Everglades is also home to one of the most complex and important ecosystems. Dry conditions shrinking the habitat and hiding places for wildlife.
With the rapid onset of this drought, the wildlife, many of them will be stranded out here. This area would normally be up to our knees with water.
Back at base camp, Jones has had to cut back on airboat tours because there are fewer places to go. He's also worried about brush fires already popping up.
It's a tinderbox waiting to go off.
A La Nina pattern this winter has brought drier than normal conditions to the Sunshine State, leading to low water levels and elevated fire concerns. Check out the latest drought monitor. 98% of the state is currently experiencing drought conditions, with extreme drought in that red color covering 43% of the state. This is the most intense and widespread drought that Florida has seen in 25 years. And due to the expected impacts, Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency. Fire season runs year-round in Florida, but it can be especially bad during the spring following a dry winter. Burn bans are now in effect, and water shortage restrictions have been issued across all 5 of the state's water management districts. Numerous brush fires developed over the weekend in Florida, including this one on the east side of the state that closed portions of I-95 over the weekend. The fire burned 20 vehicles at a campground and affected traffic as folks left Daytona International Speedway following the Daytona 500. Now back here in East Tennessee, our spring fire season began on February 15th and will continue until May 15th. Fall is our driest season of the year, and as plants go dormant and leaves fall, they create a lot of fuel on the ground. When vegetation comes out of dormancy in the spring, it pulls moisture out of the ground. And the spring season can also be windy with low humidity, and that combination of factors can lead to favorable conditions for fires to develop and spread rapidly. Recent rain has been helpful, but overall we've had a pretty dry winter, so this will be something to watch closely over the next couple of months. Burn permits are required in Tennessee through May 15th. And now let's get a check of your 7-day forecast. As I said, recent rainfall has been helpful, and the rain that we have coming over the next several days will also be beneficial to get some moisture in the ground. Now that's going to start with mild temperatures, but right as the precipitation moves out, colder air will be moving back in. It is still, in fact, winter, and it's going to feel every bit like it as we finish out the weekend and go into early next week. In fact, on Sunday and Monday, even though highs may get into the 40s, wind chills will stay in the 30s all day long, and Yes, those are 20s back in the forecast for Monday and Tuesday morning. So any plants that have started to pop up around the area, you'll want to protect them as we have cold temperatures returning back to East Tennessee as we go into early next week. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, you can get the latest forecast and watch our 24/7 live radar anytime with the WBIR Plus app. You can download the app for free and watch on your TV.